Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's energy update with me, Rebecca.meisl. First off, to apologize, I have been out of the game the past 2 weeks. I've just had some incredibly busy weeks, so I apologize for not being able to record and post some of my channeled readings the past couple weeks. It's just been a gong show, so I really appreciate your understanding. But I am back this week and excited to dive in. We have a beautiful reading. I wasn't able to find the time to record last week's reading, but I did channel it. And just to kind of give you the main highlights, we're getting a lot around our dreams and expanding our dreams and learning to go for our dreams despite adversity, despite whatever challenges are coming our way, and recognizing these challenges as pivotal moments for growth, right? So sometimes we have this expression of like needing to break down to break through. And so that's exactly what I've been feeling the past couple weeks that has been coming in very strongly for us, has been this breakdown and dissolving of these past beliefs and limiting beliefs and anything that might be holding you captive or holding you stuck or stagnant or making you feel like you're being held back from fully blossoming into who you're meant to be now. And taking the bull by the horns and saying enough is enough. So they're really showing me these very pivotal stories that a lot of us have believed for a very long time. And maybe these are the big ones, like the big beliefs, like I need to put everyone else ahead of me. I don't get my needs met. I don't matter. All of these really big stories that are very all-encompassing and can trickle into all these different areas of life. So this week, they're really encouraging us to get the big picture, to really see what is challenging you to expand. And so they're kind of showing me this like sovereignty, this take charge energy of like, nope, I am now going to take charge of my life. I am now going to make a plan. I'm going to now feel solid in myself and who I've evolved into and who I am wanting to become. And it's really interesting because they're kind of bringing in the name of God and how that actually means and translates to He causes to become. And it's really interesting. This week, we're going to be recognizing the God within ourselves, the leadership, the creator that we truly are innately, and realizing what we cause, what we intend, becomes, right? So we're really going to start seeing our gift of manifestation and these abilities tenfold. And maybe we've even been seeing this in a negative way. They're also highlighting that of where these old stories have created a negative outcome, right? So think about those stories you have. Think about that long-standing belief. Take some time for inner reflection, okay? They're really, really mentioning this. Like step back this week, survey your life, survey your lifestyle. That's coming in as well. So your everyday actions and how they're motivated from a core belief system. So when you make a choice, when you make a decision, is this decision autopilot? Is it automatically putting your needs last? Or is it automatically going, no, I need to care for myself too? And where you have betrayed yourself, okay, so they're really highlighting this as well. Where have you been betraying yourself, your new self, the person you have become? Because a lot of us have completely transformed from the past. And this week, we are stepping into a whole new life. And that's kind of what they're showing me is we're closing the door to our past fully. And having this, like, it's funny, I just keep hearing, amen. Amen, sisters, amen. So it's very much like, yeah, let's close that door and let's not open that one again. And so they're just showing me this being incredibly highlighted. And it's exciting because forward momentum is going to be propelled from this action. Forward energy is going to be very quick, fast moving. And we're going to start seeing that tunneling energy that we saw beneath the surface, or we didn't even see beneath the surface, finally come to the light. Okay, so what you've been building, what you've been working on, perhaps for many, many years, you're going to finally see the whole story. This week is going to be a pivotal week in getting that clear vision. So it's very exciting. So let's dive into what channeled. So we have this beautiful advice to start the week, which is taking the pressure off. Okay, so yes, we're we're building our dreams. We're excited. We've got some old stories we're clearing out, but we have to remember to take our time. So the first negative advice is go at your own pace. Okay, and this makes sense because we are crafting our lives as individuals. We're learning that we've been given a set almost like mold of how to live our lives, how we have to live our lives, the 9 to 5, the daily grind, the go, go, go. And now that we're kind of taking back our power and going, whoa, 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 actually that don't work for me. That's not working for me. We're starting to take control and take a step back and recraft even how we move through our lives according to our personal needs, desires, and bodies, which is super cool. So we need to be learning how to take things in our own time, okay? So we might be getting a little bit of this heads up. Slow down, okay? Yes, get clarity. Yes, do the work, but go at your own pace. Everything's going to happen just as it should. So no pushing this week. This is the first negative wisdom. So go at your own pace. Take it slow. Prioritize your soul, not just the goal. Heaven awaits as soon as you let yourself create your own heaven on earth. Okay, this is pivotal. So let's stop here. We've got so much to unpack in this little few sentences. So prioritize the soul, not the goal. This is a huge one that's come through many times. And I love this saying, like, soul, not the goal, because it's so true. We can have a set idea of what we want. We can have a very set idea of what things need to look like and what we want for our futures. But when we prioritize that over our own health, as an example, over our own needs, as our example, of finances, as an example, our soul, so what our soul is actually needing and crying out for at that moment of time, we fail to really live life to the fullest. And what I mean by that is we then learn to negate our needs. So where are we negating our needs in pursuit of our goals? Where are we negating our soul, our inner voice, to prioritize a certain goal? So this could come through in work, this could come through in your dreams, this could come through in your relationships, like it could come through in every single corner of your life. So slow down this week and analyze that. Where have I been negating my soul's voice, my soul's longing, calling, desires, as an example, and putting something else ahead of it? So very important this week to recognize where we are rejecting what's truly important and prioritizing things that aren't as important overhead of this. So finding this awareness this week is going to be pivotal. And what's really cool is right after that was like heaven awaits. So it's very true. When you slow down enough to take each day and tune into your soul and go, what do you need? What are you saying? What is it that is coming up for recognition from my inner voice today? It's like we're heard. And it's so funny because this bliss, this surrender, this peace comes in because it's like, you've listened to me, right? And isn't that how we all feel? A lot of times that's our main goal, is we want to be heard, we want to be seen, we want to be valued, and we want to be heard for the things we are trying to say. So even look at your dreams. What are you trying to say with those dreams? And then correlate that to yourself. So use the mirror and go right back to yourself and go, where am I needing to hear this from myself? Where am I needing to give this gift to myself? So as an example, say your goal is, I want to help heal the world. I want to help bring love to this world and help people feel loved and feel seen for who they are. Well, are you walking that walk? Are you talking that talk? And finding that time this week to really go, well, how can I create this dream that I want to give others also for myself? And this brings in this expression of me too. So a lot of us go, oh, well, I don't like the idea of putting myself first because that makes me feel like I'm better than others, or I'm prioritizing myself over others. And that can sometimes feel selfish. But what's really cool is someone once told me, it's not me first, it's me too. And I thought that was so beautiful because I was like, wow, yeah, that actually resonates way more because we're all equal. We all matter. So this week, when it comes to what you're trying to create, remember that you matter too. Okay, your needs matter too. These things in your life matter too. So to remember to prioritize that. And that's what they're really showing me your soul crying out for, is for attention, for needs being met. So are you listening to the needs of your soul, the needs of your physical, the needs of your desires, all of these things? It's like, and as soon as you listen, that pressure comes off. It's like, wow, okay, I can finally breathe. I'm listening now. I'm heard now. And I'm taking actions to meet my needs too. And this heaven begins to create here in your earthly existence because you're now prioritizing it. You're like, okay, if I want to live my best life, what needs to change? What do I need to tweak? What do I need to call in? What do I need to let go? And we start creating, we start reshaping our existence, and it's beautiful. So they're kind of going like, one of the big ones is more alone time. So this is really coming through strongly this week, is some of us are going to need more alone time. And if you're getting cranky, if you're getting overextended, if you're overgiving, or you're so caught up in work and what's going on, because the energies have been quite intense. They're like, woo, 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 slow down, tune in, be still. So give yourself the gift of being with yourself, cultivating your own relationship, and this is going to help you get a lot of clarity of what needs restructuring so this need can be met too, okay? So what came through next was this vision I got, which was the soul crying and being in pain and suffering in silence. So they're kind of giving me this energy that's very domineering, where it's like, you don't get to do that. You got to stay small. You can't speak up. You don't get a voice. You be quiet. And it's really interesting because it's like this energy that rises up that's extremely dominant, that is extremely menacing and extremely harsh. And it's so funny. It's rising up in the divine masculine energy that I can feel in this moment. And so this is speaking very loudly. This is almost abusive. This is the energy I'm feeling. And it's really interesting because the soul is like coming from this divine feminine energy, and it's being squashed. It's being put down. It's saying you don't matter. You don't get to have what you need. So be very mindful this week of where these energies are playing a part right now in your life. So what is that dominating energy in yourself that is telling you you don't matter? You don't get to have, you need to stay in suffering. And they're showing me it's going to be very loud, if not already been very loud. And it's almost because it needs to be loud to be seen, so you can recognize once again how mean you are to yourself. So we're getting a big wake-up call this week of where we are our own worst enemy, where we are keeping ourselves small because of these belief systems we've had, wherever they've come from. And they're like, don't play the blame game. So they're kind of showing me that, like, well, this person, that's why I'm this way, is they taught me this way. They gave me these beliefs. And it's like, yes, but now you're aware. So let go, okay? Let go. Realize these tendencies within yourself. So when you're feeling suppressed in your life, look within yourself as well and go, okay, where is this person, this situation that doesn't allow me to be myself, that makes me feel restricted or bound or confined? Where is this a mirror of where I do the same thing to myself? So we're going to get a big mirroring moment this week, I feel, for a lot of us, of where these big programs have been literally shouting at us, and we're mad about it. We're like, this is ridiculous. I don't want to put up with this anymore. I'm tired. I need a break. I need to listen to my needs. And it's like this anger rises because, yeah, it's freaking time, friends. We need to meet our needs. We need to meet our needs. So the soul has been crying. It has been suffering in silence. And what I'm hearing is like, no more. No more. So what then channeled was, this isn't what I want. So be willing to leave it behind. Okay? Be willing to leave the old world behind. And that's what was so interesting. You know, are you willing to leave behind the world that is not your heaven? Okay, so we had that pivotal moment here. You can create heaven on earth. So if you haven't created your heaven on earth, have you created your own hell? Have you created your own personal hell on earth? Why? Why have you created that for yourself? Right? So once again, we have to take responsibility for our choices, our actions, and also some of these things that are not our fault, okay? Because we have to release the whole blame game, and we have to liberate ourselves from that and go, no, okay, this sucks, but I can rise out of this. I can make changes. I am my own sovereignty. I can rise up and make a change. So they're kind of saying, like, don't use this to disempower yourself. Don't use this as an excuse to have more anger or blame in your life or resentment. Go, okay, where have I not been allowing myself to be me and be free to be me? And this is huge, okay, because this is going to help us acknowledge, once again, what's not working, and where relationships in our lives, where jobs in our lives, where even money in our lives, all these roles have actually been showing us this reflection of ourselves. So if there's this like domineering energy in your life that you feel controlled by or feel manipulated by, once again, that's your big warning sign to go, oh, where have I been doing that myself? Where have I not been allowing myself to grow, to change, to be? Okay? So you're coming to this recognition, this is not what I want. So a lot of us are going to have, once again, a big wake-up call to what isn't working, what is in your face right now shouting at you, and you're angry about it. It's time to finally take the bull by the horns and take the power back and go, okay, I just have to be honest. This isn't what I want. This isn't my ideal. This isn't my heaven on earth. And they're just like, be honest. Okay? A lot of us have been refusing to be honest with ourselves. We've been telling ourselves all the excuses. Well, I have to make this work because of this. Or I have to make this work because I've got it so good. Or, I really have no right to be upset about this, but it's not right. Okay? If it's not right, it's not right. If it's not fitting, it's not fitting. If it's not aligning, it's not aligning. You don't need 10 million excuses to go, this is not for me. Okay? And they're also showing me this leveling up that is taking place where you're no longer fitting in what you used to. So a lot of us are outgrowing things. A lot of us are coming to this awareness of like, oh, that's why I had to stay in this for so long. I needed to see this. I needed to grow from this. I needed to learn this. But now we've learned it. Or we're seeing it and we're going, I think I'm ready to elevate. I think I'm ready for the next challenge. And it's not fulfilling you. They're just showing me like something just not hitting the spot anymore. And that's okay. So give yourself permission this week to look at things through the lens of the soul. And sometimes it's not going to be logical. Sometimes it's not going to look right on paper to make this move or to make this change. But your soul's like, I'm done. It's as simple as that. I'm done and you're not listening to me. It's like the brain is just like, no. Let's think about this way more. Let's really go into all the details of why I really should stay. And then your soul's like, I've already given you the answer. It's not right. It's not fitting. Like, move on. So be truthful. What is in your heart? What is ready to expand? What is ready to close off? they're like, close the door, okay? This isn't working. So be willing to leave the old world behind. So the way you lived life, the way you experience life, it's going to change. It's time to close the door. So they said, think deeply, but don't shatter hope. Okay, so once again, when the door closes on something, sometimes that can be hard. Sometimes that can be sad. Sometimes we're going to have this toughness, this resistance to change, even when we know it's the right thing. And they're just like, just don't overthink it, because when we get into the grief cycle, which will happen, we've got to mourn what hasn't worked out. We've got to mourn what's not right, even if we wanted it to be right. And they're showing us, like, some of us are mourning that. It's like, I just wish I could make this right for me. I just wish this could work out for me. But it's just not. And we're just having to grieve that. And that's okay. So they're like, think about it, learn from it, go into it, but don't overthink it to the point where you're depressing yourself, you're swallowing all hope of what's next, what's new. And remember to look to the future, because there are new things around the corner. Okay, so don't let your hope shatter, because some of us are going to be like, this was supposed to work out for me, it didn't, and that can once more just feel devastating. But don't let that swallow your hope. You're doing the best you can with the time available. Okay, this is the advice, the encouragement. You are doing the best you can. Okay, so once again, don't lean into that dominating energy where it's like, you failed, this didn't work, have shame, all of this. Don't go there. Okay, don't do it. You're learning how to live life a new way and take control of your reactions in a new way. So give yourself grace. Give yourself the beauty of the experience. Give yourself this moment to be like, you know what, I tried my best. I felt it all. I had this experience. And you know what? That's all I can do. I did the best I could with the time available. So from there, we're learning to make direct choices. Okay, this is really interesting. So they're showing me this like back and forth energy, this push-pull, tug-of-war energy that's happening within us, because once again, the soul is speaking loudly, but so are our programs. So are our old ways, and they're battling. Okay, so you need to be very aware of where you're at war with yourself, and you're being indecisive because you're getting pulled in two different directions. But in the end, you know what your soul is already saying. So listen. So it said, make direct choices. And this is interesting. It said tongue-tied. Cat got your tongue? Okay, this might happen this week where we're like, wow, I know what I want to say, but all of a sudden I'm tongue-tied and I can't say what I want to say. Is that because you're unsure of what you want? Is that because you're unsure of who you are or how to take the lead? So interesting. So another thing to go into this week. Do you know what you want? Do you know what your choice is? Do you know who you are now? And do you really know how you want to take your dream? Okay? So these are things to go into. So when we're confused, whatever comes out is going to be confused. When we're not 100%, other people are going to notice we're not 100%. So how can we get to that 100%? How can we be 100% sure of ourselves, of who we've become, without our past, without our pain, without any of these programs distorting things, right? So once again, the power of illusion, and we have to see through our illusions this week. So once again, a lot of self-reflection is going to be needed this week. A lot of inner introspection of really coming to the truth and really seeing things for as they are, not for what we want them to be, not for what we've come from our past, and being willing to go, oh, that's the old me coming out, right? Trying to sabotage me because it wants to keep me safe. My past is all I know. So anything new that challenges what I don't know is going to feel unsafe. It's not going to feel right. So the old me, the ego, is going to step in and going to go, no, let's stay in the safe zone. Let's stay over here where you can't be seen, where you can't be heard, where you can't make change, and stay stuck, because at least we know what that's like. So once again, be very aware of when these programs are coming up loud and make your choice. Okay, so it's going to look a little different, because it's not going to necessarily be one day you wake up and be like, this is me, this is all the choices I'm making, a change. It's not going to happen overnight for a lot of us. For us, it's going to be like daily decisions. So every day, make a new choice. Okay, this is what they're kind of saying. So like, to evolve your perception, to evolve more into you, to the truth of who you are, make one different choice every day. So whether that's even as simple as making a healthier choice in your food. Okay, this is what loving myself looks like, is I choose to make a loving home-cooked meal for myself, full of nutrients, that fuels me, that hydrates me, that gives me what I need. Okay, so that's one choice. Okay, another example, your boss says, I want you to work overtime. And you're like, old me would have been like, of course, let me do everything I can to please you, even though I don't really want to, and I know I'll be exhausted. And they're like, make a new choice. The person who I want to be respects herself, respects her time, knows when she's reached her max and her limits. So how can I love myself enough and make the choice that reflects the new me, the new life, where my needs are met, right? Or being willing to ask for a promotion. That's another choice. That's something that's also coming up. So someone's holding back from asking for what they need. Don't do it anymore. Speak up. Use your voice. Know how to advocate for yourself. Know how wonderful you are. Notice the goal that you bring to wherever you are. So they're just showing me like, these are the daily things that are going to add up and matter, because every time you make a different choice and you keep that promise to yourself that you're going to love yourself, you're going to follow through, you're going to evolve into this new person, the more that is affirmed, right? So notice when you've said no in the past and felt guilt, now when you say no, you're gonna feel pride and be like, yeah, baby, I said no and put myself first, and this wonderful, or put me too, right? So it's this beautiful evolution of like, every time you say no to something that's detrimental to you, you are saying yes to yourself, to your new life, to your new creation, right? So allow yourself to ruminate on that this week. What are some new choices I want to make for myself? What are some small promises that I want to make to myself and keep to myself? And even if it's just one little thing can make one change. And they're just showing me more and more they accumulate, and more the energy shifts, and more things become easier, because you're putting yourself first, which puts you in this vibration of others are going to put you first, right? That's what you're going to attract. You're no longer attracting I don't deserve, I don't get to meet my needs or be myself. We're now shifting to I do get to be me. I do get to choose what I want. I do get to prioritize my needs. I do get to matter too. And it's beautiful. These choices are just adding up and making a shift, okay? So notice where you get tongue-tied. Notice where you hold back for others, for whatever the reasons are, and start advocating for yourself. Become very sure of yourself. Become very sure of what you're going to do. So some of us are saying make an action plan. If there's something in your life that's really not resonating, what can you do to make one different change, one shift, okay? So from there, they said actualize your gifts of foresight. Now this is beautiful, because It's helping us to once again tap into our ability to dream. So some of us have not been dreaming. Some of us have been avoiding our dreams. Some of us have been, not really going in on them. And they're showing me like discouragement coming in here, but they're also showing me this lack of belief and this inability to believe that you're worthy of them. So this week, they're actually challenging you to go into it. So some of us are like, I don't want to dream because it's too painful when it doesn't happen. And I don't want to dream because I don't actually believe that they're going to come true anymore. I've just been knocked down too many times. And they're just showing me this deep sorrow in the body, in the spirit, this just total defeat. And they're like, we need you to challenge this pain within yourself, because that's not really how you want to live your life. You do want to believe. You do want to have your dreams. And it's like you've quieted that voice in yourself for so long that they're like, please, like, open it up again. It's okay, right? It is okay. So they're just showing me this balance that we've learned of like, okay, maybe we went about things a different way last time, and now we've learned better. We've learned different ways to cultivate the dream, to live a peaceful existence, to manifest in a different way, not through the masculine energy, but through the art of being, through the art of moving with the flow and being in our divine feminine. And it's so beautiful because they're like reminding us that's going to change things. Okay. So maybe the push, the struggle, the strive didn't work for you. And that's because it wasn't really like beneficial. And they're kind of showing me like the straw that broke the camel's back, where it's like you piled so much on, it was too much. And now you're learning, you know better. Okay, I've got to focus on one thing. I've got to be able to flow. I've got to be in my creativity. I've got to be happy with where I am in the present. It's all these things you've learned and accumulated through practice and through wisdom and through failure. Yes, there's been some failures. That's okay. That's what life is about. So I'm just hearing like forgiveness. So forgive yourself for where things failed. Forgive yourself for when things didn't pan out. It's not your fault. It's the way it was supposed to be to help you grow. So now we're being challenged to go in again. Go into your dreams again. Don't be afraid. Go in. Things will be different for you this time because you're different now. The way you approach life is different now. The way you're going to move to your dreams is different now. And they're showing me you're not so codependent on them anymore, where it's like, if things don't take off right away, you don't get knocked to your feet. You're just like, you know what? Or knocked off your feet. You're more so like, you know what? That's okay. We'll get up again and we'll keep on going. And I'm still happy. I'm still fulfilling my needs, fulfilling my love cup every day. And so you're learning to be resilient in a way that's so beautiful. So they're like, your dreams, yes, they matter, but not to the point that they used to, where it's just like you had to have everything riding on this dream. It's like now you're going, oh, okay, I still deserve to have a beautiful life even while I'm building this. So actualize your gifts of foresight. What do you see for your future? Okay. Now, the other thing they were kind of showing me is this fear might come up. And it's almost like this fear of like, what are my dreams going to cost? And it was really interesting because they're showing me someone who grew up in a very transactional way. And a lot of us have this where it's like, if you give, then I'll give. And if this happens, then I have to give this. And if someone does one nice thing for me, I have to repay it tenfold. And they're also showing me like conditional, right? A lot of conditions on love and freely loving. Like there's just almost like everything became very transactional. And so they're showing me that we have this perspective of our dreams. If I give this, then this is what I should get back. And we're learning that's not how it works. We're also learning, okay, maybe we're afraid because we're like, am I going to have to overgive to be worthy of receiving this gift, to receive the goal, the dream? So they're actually showing me like, the other aspect of this is, what am I going to have to give up to do this? So maybe you're like, do I have to give up my job? Right? Do I have to sacrifice my relationship and have less time with my partner to do this? Am I going to have to sacrifice more time? Am I going to have to sacrifice my needs, my joy to make this happen? And they're like, no, 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 no. Balance, right? A reminder of balance, right? But release this fear of what your dreams are going to cost, because they're like, it's actually going to cost less than what you're currently paying. So they're showing me this awareness coming in of like how you're already sacrificing too much. So we're going to have this land this week of maybe we're sticking with a job even though it makes us unhappy, and it's costing you. It's costing you your mental health. It's costing you your well-being. But we keep paying that price because, once again, we're like, well, this is what I got to do, right? And they're kind of going, well, if you go all in on your dreams, not to say, oh, quit your job, get rid of everything you don't like. Yes, there's going to be challenges and things in life that you have to put up with. However, where can you start going more full into the dream? Because that is going to actually cost less than what you're currently paying. I'm hoping I'm making sense. But it's like you're paying unhappiness. You're paying your happiness. You're paying this lack of belonging. You're paying your satisfaction, your fulfillment. That's what you're paying out right now when you keep choosing other things over yourself, over the dream that you want to pursue or the life you want to experience. So really look at what energy you are outputting, what dreams you're giving away or sacrificing, and go, okay, what is this truly worth to me? So they're like, yeah, you could stay doing this. However, is it costing a part of your soul? Something to think about, right? So what's costing you? What's costing you parts of yourself? What's costing you parts of your soul? And how can we once again find this happy medium where our needs are met? That is absolutely paramount, but we're also willing to give a little to receive what we need. Once more, I hope this is making sense. So moving from there, this dramatic rebirth is happening. We are recreating our lives. We are restructuring our lives from the foundations up. And it's amazing because once again, once we start truly stepping into who we are, into what we want, and giving ourselves this, and it's not a luxury, giving yourself your needs every day, the more this starts dramatically making change, okay? So reevaluate what's happening. This is huge. What you can do with your goals. What is the better price? Your limiting beliefs or your goal? Choose now. Choose change over safety. Jump in. Bask in your glory. Do what entertains your soul. Okay, this was so beautiful. So breathe deep, release what is heavy, what stands in the way of you now. And evaluate that. What stands in your way now of your life, of your happiness? It's time to live like there is no tomorrow. Learn, grow, and expand. So beautiful and so encouraging. So once again, there's a lot of things shifting beneath the surface. There's a lot of things that we need to step back and look at because there's this big picture we really need to see come into play this week. So reevaluate your life. What is shifting? What is happening? What is changing? Get that big picture and then go to your goals and go, how is this shaping my dream? So I love how they put this, like, what's the better price, your limiting beliefs or your goals? So what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your goals? Have you been doing that? Have you been sacrificing what you actually want, what actually fulfills you, what actually meets your needs? Or have you been sacrificing the beliefs that stand in the way? Are you willing to let go of those? Okay, so a lot of us are going to find that we aren't. We're actually not willing. A lot of us have not been. And some people will never be willing to let go of their old beliefs, the programs that keep them safe and small. Many people will not be willing to go past them. So notice where you have been unwilling to take a chance, even if it's been divinely guided. Even when you know in your heart and your soul, this is what you went to do, this is what you want to do, where are you in denial? Okay, denial of your needs, denial of your soul. It's time to wake up and be willing to challenge those beliefs and let them go. So look them in the face this week, look them in the eye, challenge your fear and go, okay, I see you. I see you, limiting belief. I see you, ego that's trying to keep me small. Thank you. You've kept me safe for a very long time, but I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to believe something different. And once again, this fight is what they're showing me. So your past, this is what it is. Your past is trying to cling on big time. It's not safe for you to be seen. It's not safe for you to be who you are. You need to hide, hide, hide. You need to be in shame, shame, shame. You need to stay small, small, small. And the soul's like, let me go. Let me be free. So it's your choice. Okay? Choose now. Choose change over safety. I love this. And I love how they said bask in your glory. This is so cool because when was the last time you basked in your glory? Think about that. Have you ever basked in your glory? Been like, dang, I'm good. I've done this. I've done this with my life. I've done this. I've done that. Like, when was the last time you basked in it? And the word basked always makes me think of basking in the sun, soaking up that goodness, soaking up the warmth, the good stuff. When was the last time you did that? Okay? Because they're showing me once again someone being so wrapped up in self-improvement. I need to be more. I need to be better. I'm so bad. I'm failing. I'm this. I'm that. They're like, geez, can you stop for a second and just go look at what you've done? Look at what you did. Look at the progress that has been made. You'll never be perfect. So stop beating yourself up for not being perfect. It's so funny because our guides are just like, oh my God, when are we going to get this? They're like, there she goes again. Jeez Louise, how many times do you have to tell her, she's enough, right? So they're kind of going laugh at yourself. It's okay. Stop taking life so freaking seriously. Let go a little, live a little, will ya? Bask in your sun. Okay? Maybe you're not so bad. A lot of us have this severely warped perception of ourselves. And we're like, what if you're really not that at all? This week is the week to question, okay? Question your beliefs. Question how you perceive yourself. Question everything, because what if it isn't true? What if it is a lie? What if you are so much more capable than you ever saw before? Okay? So bask in your glory. And for goodness sake, take all that pressure off and live a little. Okay? So so funny. They're kind of just showing me someone being so specific. Well, this doesn't match up. So just go for it. You already know you want it. So why are you overthinking it? Why are you overguessing it? Not everything has to be perfect for you to lean into joy, for you to lean into fun, for you to lean into happiness. Okay? Now, this is a side message here for someone about relationships. Okay? Some of us are like, I don't have the perfect relationship. He's this, he's that, or she's this, she's that, and they do this and they do that. They're like, when was the last time you just let yourself be happy with your partner? It's kind of funny. And someone who's single as an example, this person's that way, this person, this isn't. They're like, can you please lay off a little? Like, you're not perfect either. Like, just have fun. Take it less seriously. Okay? Not everything has to be perfect. Not everything has to align on paper. If you're happy, just be happy. Okay? Like, they're just showing me almost someone like digging for trouble, looking for warning signs. And they're like, there's nothing wrong. Just relax. Like, some of us tend to get so hyper fixated on how things need to be or how things should look. And okay, they're even bringing in like little systems of even spirituality where it's like, well, they're this or they're that. This doesn't jive with this, and their personality's an ENFP or whatever, and this person's this personality, so they're not going to match. They're like, oh my God, just let it go and have fun. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Flow with it. Okay, so they're really showing me like this hyperfixation on things needing to be a certain way. And they're like, let it go. Let it go. And look at that in all forms. So even like with jobs, career, not everything is ever going to be perfect. But how can you make it ideal? How can you make it flow? How can you make things change so that it does work for you? So you are feeling fulfilled, right? So beautiful. So release what is heavy. And this is all part of that. Like, what's weighing you down? What's bothering you? How can you let it go this week and just flow with life a little more? Take things less seriously. So what stands in the way of your life, of your happiness? And sometimes a lot of us are going to come to this awareness that it's really just ourselves. We're the only thing that's standing in our way. So every moment, every day, we have a chance to create the experience we want to be in. And so think of that. Think of that deeply. Even today, be like, okay, what am I willing to give to myself? And if it's not my optimal, how can I make it optimal? Stop waiting for tomorrow to make your life great. Stop waiting for a relationship, for another person to make your life great. You make your life great. You create your life, your reality. So how can you take charge? If you're not happy with your job, stop complaining about it and do something about it. Like, they're really saying like a little tough love here this week. They're like, enough. Like, you know what you want. You just refuse to do it. So make a change. Okay? So once again, every day, look at the decisions you're making. Well, I would love my job if I had this. Well, get it. Make it happen. I would love this if I had more balance. Make it happen. Right? So they're just showing me like non-negotiables. Like, make a list, remove all the things from your brain that make it impossible, and just go, okay, what are my non-negotiables truly from the soul? And some of these simple things are what make your life enjoyable. So maybe it's yoga every day. Maybe it's a proper lunch break every day. Maybe you love to sit in the sun for an hour every day. Like, what are those non-negotiables? And they need to be non-negotiables. Like, do them because they fulfill you. They fill you up again, right? So they're like, do something, please. This is the time to do. Okay, so what stands in the way? So live like there's no tomorrow. And it's so true. Life is precious. We only have this one incarnation that we're in. This is the only time that you will be you. Maybe the next time around, you're going to be someone totally else, different. This is the only time you have to be you. So be you. Do you. Live fully, right? So live like there is no tomorrow. If you knew tomorrow wasn't coming, what would you do? What would you prioritize? How would you change your life, right? Learn, grow, and expand. That's the whole goal. We're here to learn. We're here to grow. We're here to expand. So no, you can't protect yourself from everything. And they're kind of saying, like, even your dreams, they'll be tough. They'll be tough. There'll be things that will challenge you greatly. There will be oopsies. There will be mistakes. There'll be all the things. It's not going to be perfect because life isn't meant to be perfect. You are here to learn, expand, and grow. So you will be challenged. So they're like, burst that bubble right now. Nothing is perfect. Even if you find the perfect relationship, even if you find the perfect job, there's still going to be things you're not going to like about it. How can you see them for challenges to grow? Okay? Now, this is so beautiful because then it moves into this beautiful rectification of guilt, of shame, of blame, of self-denial, and unworthiness. And it's so beautiful. So this week we're going to get it. Like, wow, it's interesting. It's popped in my head. It's just shock wave. We're going to get a shock wave. It's really interesting. They're showing me like this energy just going and it's moving very fast, and it's meant to shock this out of you. Okay? So some of us might literally get like a shock where it's like, whoa, this truth lands. I don't need to believe those stories anymore. Wow. And it's so beautiful because they showed me Christ and his hand extending to you. And Christ to me is always the symbol of unconditional love. So this invitation to be unconditionally loved is being offered to you today, this week, right now. It's like, rise out of these stories that held you captive for so long, that kept you in pain, in suffering for so long, and suffer no more. And it's so powerful because they're showing me this lesson coming to completion. So what came through was reconciliation and forgiveness. This chapter is closed. Ooh, I'm getting chills. Wow. Be in pain no more. Devastation and loss, insignificant and impossible beauty. Be gone. You are you. You are free. You stayed true to you right until the end. And then they showed me, like, it was funny. I heard the song Grease Lightning from the musical, and then I got healed, it's done, it's closed. So cool. So like that lightning bolt, it's healed, it's done, it's closed. It's over. This way of living, believing you're not enough, believing you're insignificant, believing you don't deserve, believing you're not capable, believing you're not loved, it's going to be gone. Okay, and it's so beautiful because they're showing me this reconciliation of the soul, this reconciliation of these parts of yourself that for so long were in rejection and shame, and you are welcoming them back to the light. You are welcoming them back to yourself and going, you have a place here too. And you're coming home to yourself, not just the parts of yourself that you thought were acceptable or that others approved. All of you is being welcomed home. You are learning to forgive your past, to forgive yourself for any wrongs you ever committed against others or yourself, and you're letting them go. You're going, you know what? I don't need to punish myself anymore for not being perfect. I don't need to keep punishing myself and shaming myself and refusing to let myself be seen because others won't understand me. I can just love myself now. And it's so beautiful because Christ comes in, it's like, you're loved. God comes in, you're loved. You've always been loved. You've always been pure. Nothing, no stain on your soul cannot be washed away. And it's so beautiful because that statement comes in that Christ said, which was, come to me and I will refresh you. And that's exactly what's happening this week, is we're bringing our tired, weary souls to Christ's feet to God, to unconditional love, and we're going, refresh me. Let me lay all this down at your feet. Let me let it go so I can be washed clean. And it's so beautiful because we're realizing there's no real such thing as sin. We're no longer taking these things as marks against ourselves, our mistakes, our wrongdoings. We're like, you know what? It's in the past. I can't change it. All I can do now is let them go and welcome myself back into the arms of love. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful what is happening. And with this recognition of our purity, of how we truly are innocent and blameless, it's like we come to this awareness that we do deserve good. We deserve good in our lives. We deserve good. Okay? You deserve a good life. You deserve a beautiful life. And now it's time to take that for yourself. Stop denying yourself the good. And this is going to change your life. So once again, when we start meeting our needs, we start advocating for ourselves, we start making a different choice every day, this continues to affirm in us the truth that we deserve good. We deserve better. And we start taking it. This is how you take it. This is how you create your heaven on earth. It's by these small shifts every day, being willing to make a different choice, to be willing to do what's best for you. And it's like everything transforms with that willingness. So don't overcomplicate it. Just make a choice. One choice every day. Choose you. And I think this was so beautiful because they're showing me this release of even these impossible beauty standards that we've had on ourselves, these impossible standards we've had when it comes to life, things that we feel we should be, and we're just like, see ya, we're letting it go. And it's beautiful. Once again, we're learning to love ourselves just as we are, and it's so amazing. And it's all happening very quickly this week. It's like lightning. It's healed, it's done, it's gone. It's like this lesson is complete. And how amazing is that? So my friends, this is essentially everything I've got for us this week. I think it's absolutely amazing what we're doing. And getting this big picture is pivotal. We are changing the trajectories of our lives little by little each time, each day, each week. And it's now time for us to get that picture and go, wow, we're doing it. We're creating a life of love, brick by brick, step by step, moment by moment. We are masters of our fate, masters of our own experience. And it's so beautiful because once again, we're waking up to seeing the truth, which is the power is in your hands. So don't be afraid to make a new choice. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Don't be afraid to go into your dreams and to free yourself of everything that's holding you back. So my friends, that's all I've got. Have a beautiful week. Let me know if this reading resonated for you, and sending you all the love in the world. Bye-bye.